Residential rental relationships are significantly impacted by the Ontario Human Rights Code. The Ontario Human Rights Code is a provincial law that assures equal rights and opportunities for all people without discrimination and harassment. It works together with the Residential Tenancies Act and imposes additional requirements on landlords. If there is a conflict between the RTA and the code must be followed first unless an exception has been identified. Landlords should always be aware of how their actions affect current and prospective tenants.
Discrimination can be understood as a way of treating a person unfairly based on grounds set out in the code. These are aspects of personal identity, characteristics, situation, or background. When a person has been discriminated against, it causes harm to their self-worth or dignity, and may also have tangible consequences such as denial or loss of housing. A landlord is obligated to comply with the Ontario Human Rights Code before and during a tenancy. When searching for a tenant, landlords should always keep an open mind. Making assumptions about who should or might want to live in the unit, and to describe the unit in ways that would exclude certain people is discrimination. If a landlord fails to take reasonable steps to stop harassment against a tenant, the landlord could be subject to a human rights complaint. Whether or not the landlord knows that the behavior towards the tenant is intended to be hurtful or intimidating, it's important to consider the impact on the tenant, and whether a reasonable third party would see it as unwelcome. If a tenant is being harassed, the landlord is responsible for ensuring that the harassment stops. Landlords also have a duty to accommodate the code-related needs of tenants. This means the landlord must work with the tenant to remove barriers, whether in the rental unit, elsewhere on the property, or in rules or policies, unless doing so would cause undue hardship. If a landlord claims undue hardship as a defense or reason why they cannot make the accommodation, it's the landlord's responsibility to provide evidence that they assessed the accommodation request and how the related costs, health and safety risks, or other legitimate concerns would create undue hardship.
For more information on the Ontario Human Rights Code and what it means to small landlords, please visit www.landlordselfhelp.com.